Phiên tiếp theo, Community Sustainability and DAO Governance Efficient có sự tham gia của Louis Nguyễn, Community Manager, Chainlink Lab, Ted Pocket hit the heel of the community Tatum, Sumham P. Henry Hill of Scott System Mental Network, chủ tọa Phúc Hoàng Hill of Research Consero. Việc đảm bảo cộng đồng bền vững và quản trị DAO hiệu quả là nền tảng để duy trì tăng trưởng và sự tin cậy trong hệ thống phi tập trung. Đây là một phiên trò chuyện hết sức thực tế và kịp thời. Xin kính mời các vị giả.
Community sustainability and DAO governance efficiency, featuring Louis Nguyen, Community Manager at Chainlink Lab, Jeff Walker, Head of their community at Tatum, Subel Mahanari, Head of Ecosystem at Mental Network, moderated by Phúc Hoàng, Head of Research at Consero. Sustainable efficient governance is critical to reserve growth and trust in decentralized system. A totally empowered panel. Please give them a warm welcome.
Check.
I think this is kind of like a very interesting topic to discuss because like for personal projects, so the community is like everything. Like we cannot even like we cannot be successful without the community. And then so after the community, so we have another layer like the DAO to govern, to decide everything for the project to be successful. But before we dive into the main topic today, so can everyone explain, and then can everyone introduce a little bit about yourself and also for your projects, and then so like everyone here can have like a little understanding like what are you doing. So please, Subham, please.
Yep. So I just gave like introduction 5 to 10 minutes ago. So just to keep it short, I'm the head of ecosystem at Manta. Manta is the layer 2 solution on Ethereum. Initially focused on the modularity, but now it's more like a consumer applications chain where you can build an application, and we have some internal incubation things which can help you to generate some revenues and stuff. Apart from that, like we started back in 2021 as a privacy chain, but then moved to ZK because of some privacy issues, if you remember, like Tornado Cash and stuff. So we moved back in 2023 to layer 2 space. We became the first modular chain by Celestia integration. We launched Foundation in June 2024, and like we have been live since then. Yep.
All right, my turn. So, well, first of all, nice to meet you all, and pleased to be here. I mean, I've been living here in Ho Chi Minh City for 10 years now, so I've been passing by the palace many times. So it's great to be a speaker here at East Vietnam, and thank you, Quinn, for the event. You know, it's great to be here. So I'm Ted. I'm head of community at Tatum. So we're infra providers. So basically, we do tools for any teams who are building on chain. So tools meaning RPC nodes, data API, KMS, SDK, virtual accounts. So the boring stuff if you're not a dev, and the sexy stuff if you're a builder, basically.
Thank you. Good morning, speakers. Good morning, everyone. Pleasure to be here. My name is Louis Nguyen. I'm actually Vietnamese, but sitting here with the English panel that shows English then. I have been managing the enthusiast community at Chainlink for over a year now, and have been in the industry for roughly 4 years. Now I'm managing the enthusiast community for Chainlink in Southeast Asia, and roughly about what Chainlink is doing. We're building standards for on-chain finance. So we're powering DeFi protocols. Majorly all the DeFi related protocols, especially on EVM, and recently we expanded to SVM with other languages as well. And we're also building the bridge to bridge traditional finance and DeFi, especially on the field of the recently approved stablecoin and RFUA related. So that's roughly what we're doing at Chainlink.
Yeah, thank you, the panelists. So let's dive into the main topic today. So it, for this topic, so we have two parts. Like the first is community and the DAO government. Then so like we will start discussing about the community first. So like the first question is when we coming to community, so what is your core belief like when you're building the community for your projects? Like because like we have like it's interesting here, like we have like three different projects. So we have the blockchain, we have the projects, and like for Chainlink, so it's not the blockchain, it's not a project, so it's just like the protocol. But like so we will have like different idea on how you build a community for your community, for your organization. Yeah, please.
Yep. So I think so. Like the initial community thing was quite different from today. So we have InfoFi right now, which is quite different. But initially, when we started, so uh, it was pretty simple that we start engaging community through the testnet. There were a lot of point systems and stuff. I remember back in 2023 December, so we launched a campaign called as New Paradigm. The community was quite active because it was the initial start of Bull Run, and we generated like 1 billion TVL with around 24 days. So that was like quite good time of the community time, like community stance and stuff. But I think like community is quite good. Everything is awesome when you have a perfect community who has been being given you like the good feedback plus a bad feedback as well. So if you know, like whenever the you launch a token, so you have two products. One is your token, the second one is the product. Like for us it is a chain. So people always question about the two roadmaps instead of one, but we always provide one. So that is one thing. But second, on the in general community side, it was pretty simple. Like we had around 12 regional communities including Vietnam. So our major focus was Southeast Asia, including China, Hong Kong, India. We had some Southeast Asian like countries like Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia. Indonesia was the biggest market for us that time. So that was the initial steps what we followed. After that, launching the token and stuff. Once we were done about it, so we started with the hacker house so that we can get the initial builders from each of these countries, which were 12 regions for us. To be honest, our focus was not on the western side. We just attended like E10 and that's it. We ever done anything on that particular side. But yeah, so that was the initial things which we did. But one thing which we also faced a problem a lot with the help of community. So if you know DAO governance, snapshots and everything has like a particular stance where people needs to vote and people needs to be active. So on the forum side, whenever we see all this place, so community needs to be very active or else the DAO governance doesn't work properly. Because if you have a specific stance, so for example, if you want a grant of like $1 million from Manta, you apply for it, you go to the snapshot. But if there are not enough people to vote for this, so it won't get approved and you can't give money if you have a DAO governance. So I think so community is a good part when you talk to them as a user or a part of the project, but when you take it in the decision making part, so I think like that's still a gray area for me.
So how about you, Ted? Like how you build your community?
Well, now it's a bit different because my community are devs only, so of course you need to deliver the tools they need. Before this, I also took care of other communities who were more traditional, I would say, so with tokens as well. Here, I think my biggest belief would be to have consistent communication with them. It's good to build hype and momentum, but at some point, of course, the headlines and the news, they kind of fade, and also their enthusiasm fade as well. So you need to always listen to them, listen to their feedback, and be transparent in what you do, and stop saying maybe soon, which is something community managers or in community in general we say a lot. And I think this is something many of us have to improve, is just to be transparent with our progression and improvements. And right now, so with the developing scene, I would say, just be as listening of the new tools that are out there, and where the devs building, what they're excited about, and trying to provide them the tools they need to grow.
Yeah. So please, Luis, can you share about this? Like,
Sure.
what is your core belief when you build a community?
It is interesting to look at the Chainlink community because the Chainlink users are not the end users themselves. the projects, the platforms that are using Chainlink protocols are our users. However, we at Chainlink we keep a public-facing community where we onboard end users and we talk to them, letting them know what Chainlink is building, letting them know about the technological features that Chainlinks are building, and also keeping them interest on protocols on blockchains, on DeFi, and recently now TradFi, etc. Everything. So I say for myself, especially for Southeast Asia communities where we see a lot more adopters rather than technical builders. I'll say one of the quotes that I really like about it is content is king, but community is queen. If you play it on the chessboard, the queen moves everywhere. She does everything that she wants. So the community voice is very important to know and to learn from them, to receive the information that they are feeding back on, whatever you're building, however you are performing on, your business, and getting information from them to see as in how you can get back and think about what you're building with your protocol. So I say it is an important aspect of looking at the community that way.
Yeah. So interesting to see, like, for different organizations that we approach to, like the way we approach to the community, the way we manage the community is like different here. So further in this question, so I would like to ask, like, because like, for the community, especially in the crypto, in the blockchain ecosystem, like usually they will try to, like, they speculate something because they want to, maybe for the end user, they want to have like some value back from the projects. So beyond that, beyond like how do you attract, how do you found that, like, the best way to keep them to keep them in, like, to be active and to be like consistent, involved in your community, beyond the like financial purpose.
So it is like a cult. So if you remember the NFT cults, which we have seen previously, so that were the one where people wanted to get into the cult not because they were getting a financial word, but they were also getting some other things. So uh, let's very brief example. So I've seen this recently. You might know about Symbiotic. So Symbiotic has a personal private chat where if you are a part of the ecosystem, like not ecosystem, but you're on the top side, so you'll be getting added to a private group where all the top people from the industry will be there. So you get that connections into it. So this was the one thing which they started, and they, because their focus was, their community was more on the product side rather than the end user. So they started working on this. Second, for us specifically, it's more about how engaging you are with them. So let's take an example. Vietnam is one of our biggest market. So instead of going financially, but maybe let's say today is Eat Vietnam, we just attend here, we interact with them, we be here, present here. So that is another reason, like, they always be supporting. Third thing, it's about more value add rather than like what you are doing. So let's take an example. Right now, RWAs, ETFs, and all the institutional grades are quite famous. We see that a lot of like like off-chain thing, or maybe the traditional market TradFi things are coming on-chain. So if you bring that on-chain on your product side as well, so it also brings some community members. Plus, it also like all the users who are on your chain will still be over here. But one disclaimer that if someone offers a better rewards and financially, so people just move out of it. So because of that, you still need to be incentivizing them on a constant basis. So instead of giving everything at once, you maybe just focus on giving at different multiples.
How about you, Ted? Because like I believe like it will be a different way how you manage the like community with like one of the builder, like especially developer.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a token, right? So we don't reward them with token. This is not what they're looking for when they come to us. They're looking for reliable tools and infra. So it's quite easy for us in a way that we reward contributors, builders, who can give them credit so they can build apps or just use more tools they need. So for us, I would say it's quite the easy part compared to other communities to build behind the token value price. We're not too much affected with bear and bull markets. Of course, more builders in the bear in the bull, sorry. But that's the easy part for us, I would say. One thing also is that we always looking for ambassadors. So if you developers and you like to create tutorials, you make content online, we also value a lot ambassadors who make contents like this. So this is a way to give back to the community of builders.
Yeah. So how about channeling? Because I know that channeling. So you build like two different communities, like one for the developer and also one for the community for the end user. Especially they don't exactly use they use channeling facility like through the decentralized applications. But like how do you approach for this one? Like,
Specifically, when Shabam here was mentioning the NFT story, I was very impressed on Manta Network NFT story when you guys were launching your token, as that was one of the campaign that you collect C objects to exchange for a Manta, a golden Manta. It's not only about the financial benefit that comes from that, but also the story that the users or your end users can have and can follow, and also the recognition of people who actually can exchange their collective for a golden manta and show that off as an NFT. So I think story is something that unites and creates the interest of the end users. And so it is important for us community managers to catch up with, first thing first, and second thing second, to be able to elaborate the story that the brand has already have to the end users. At Chainlink, if you know Chainlink, you might know a name called Chainlink God. He has been with Chainlink for, like ever since Chainlink was established. And Chainlink God was the source of story of how Chainlink became the platform, the protocol of protocols, the standard for the standards on blockchain protocols. And I think that apart from financial benefits, it is the way we tell the story of what we're doing to the users. It's the way that we keep them connected with us. And also at the same time, related to developer community, I'm very much in agreement with Ted here, is that at Chainlink, we do have the similar ambassador program for developer. We call developer expert program. And it's all about the recognition, right? You give them merit, you give them opportunities, you give them a learning process, and also recognitions on every step of that process. Like at Chainlink, if you're a developer expert and you take the course, you will receive the POAP, the NFT that proves that you already completed the Chainlink courses, and that is something that you can show on your LinkedIn, your profiles, to really make it that you have graduated some of the Chainlink courses, and which also proves that you are qualified as a developer expert. So I think story first for end users audience, and recognitions for the general community or the developer community as well, is the way that we keep them interested with that.
so I think that the last question I want to ask for everyone about the community. So like, how do you define a sustainable like community? Like how sustainability of the community is, like, in your opinions?
No, actually, after hearing the storyline thing, so even I think like it is quite interesting. So back in 2022, when NFT and gaming was quite interesting. So if you remember, there were a lot of people, instead of publishing white paper, they started gamifying their white paper, where you can just play a game and you can read about them. So that was a quite interesting thing. Because of that, I've read a lot of about reinforcement learning, AI and stuff. Second, a proper use case maybe. Let's take an example. Most of the community managers turned out to be a marketer in future. So if you feel that opportunity is coming to you, so it again brings a lot of community to engage with your content and stuff. Third, the best storyline, where you can inform or update about your product to users with a very simple tagline. So let's take an example. I tell everyone that I am a layer 2, so they won't get it about anything. But instead of that, if there is a close product on Manta which I want to show, so that should be the storyline which I should give. So for example, I mentioned that we are going to focus on consumer application now. So we launched the first application called as Super Fortune, which is a Feng Shui Web 2 application, not proper Web 3, which is kind of off chain right now. And people can come check like calls on token. So you just add a token, you get call option according to your astrological signs. So this is a very simple application. They don't really care about like what layer 2 I am on or what things we are doing on. But yeah, this is one thing. I think so. This is sorted for the application side or maybe for the infrastructure side. But for us, like consumer or users are also the developers who are coming and also the users who are actually using that application. So we need to cater on the both the side. So the community which we focus right now is like quite vague and quite broad as compared to others.
I will move fast on this.
Yeah.
I think if you have a token in your community is talking about something else than when pump or when price go up, and start helping each other and talking about the ecosystem, you're already on the right path. On the build the scene, it's all about the helping each other, sharing experiences, and help others grow.
Yeah. Like how you how about you?
I think I'll take this quickly as you know, there are so many ways that you can develop a community, but how you keep them sustainable is at the core of everything is the value that you deliver. And the value, if it represents something that your company or your organization has always been representing, it is going to be the anchor that, you know, keeps the audience with you. And at Channeling, it has always been about trust, or the sense of security on whatever we're doing. Whatever protocols we're building, we put security at the top of everything. And the kind of trust that our end users to the protocol users, to the platforms that are using Chainlink protocol has always been, you know, being nurtured by that sense. So I say for Chainlink, it's security at the end of the day.
Yeah, thank you. So so now we move a little bit to DAO, like DAO governance, like but especially here, I believe just only Manta, like you have the DAO, right? But like for Tatum and Chainlink, so usually every decision making by the company. But like I would like to learn about like how your opinion in this one. For example, when we develop some technology, and then so usually we will need to get the feedback or get the opinion from the community, from the developers, because like they're asking for it. So how do you think like should we just like delegate that, like to get the opinion, like we just delegate everything to the expert and then we heard from them, or we will collect the opinions like from the community, and then so we get it back and we gather, and then so we decide to build something based on the requirements from the community. So how do you approach in the DAO? Because like I believe in the DAO there's a lot like several steps to make it happen. Like how you work on that.
So I'll just give you like very straight answer. For first, like if it is a tech upgrade or if it is an internal upgrade. So to be honest, like we don't usually go first and ask community about it, but maybe once it is approved, we just inform the community about it. The most focused of the DAO is about the treasury, it's about the projects, and it's about the users. So treasury, in the sense, let's take an example. We are planning to delegate X amount of funds in a liquidity or a custody or anything. So that time we might take a decision based on what and how many people are active on that particular side. So it's not like that it directly goes to the voting. It first go to Manta forum. Once people are interested into discussing about it, so it goes to snapshot. or else if people have like just not that active on that particular proposal, so we just skip it and we directly approve it based on the internal discussion. But for a project, like say if you apply for X amount of grant which is outside of a certain limit, so maybe like it is a big amount, so that time you have three steps option, where first it goes to forum for temperature check, second it goes to the DAO where like people internal team discuss about the timelines, discuss about the metrics, and that final thing is posted on the snapshot and then people vote on it. So it's a wide process, but in short, like if it is discussion about the treasury and consumer or maybe a project, it goes to snapshot. If it is about the internal tech upgrade, so we don't usually prefer asking to users, because uh, as I'm a non-tech background, if I need to take a decision on a ZK, so it's better engineer takes it. It's not better that a consumer take it.
Yeah, please.
So we at ETH Vietnam. So if you look back a little bit in the history of Ethereum, so congrats on the 10 years, by the way. And so 30th of July, 2015, just 1 year after DAO Act, and that divided the community, right? So what do we do? Do we roll back the chain and just recover the stolen funds, or do we go with, code is law and if it dies kind of approach? So eventually they decided to fork, and we have Ethereum Classic and Ethereum now. And I think from this, we can have some takeaways, which is DAO works well, in my opinion, at least, for the vision and the way and the direction your project is taking, but for all security aspect, technical aspect, and when you have to move fast to patch some lines of code, I think you don't have time for DAO, or unless you want to go to sub-DAO and already have a group of guys who have the rights to interact immediately and directly. But for some vulnerabilities, you don't have the time to put a vote for the community. So two different things, I would say.
Like, how about in Chainlink side? Because I believe that Chainlink, so you very active in governance in different DAO in the in the crypto space. I think because I have read a lot of the proposal for the GMX, for the AV from the Chainlink teams. So how, like?
I think it all started from the conceptualization of what is decentralization and what is autonomous for DAOs. And for me personally, I believe that the time for complete decentralization and autonomy remains to be seen, because at the end of the day, an organization cannot change directions every now and then, right? Based on whatever people are voting on. There has to be some sort of, strategies or ways that allows the organization to develop in a finite direction. And so I say there would be a mix between how we use DAO as the way to manage an organizations in our decentralized world, but there should also be other means to balance that. And as long as we find a way to do that, organization can keep develop in for the purpose they were built for, and also giving the autonomy to the people who are putting their trust and their maybe their investment in the organization.
Yeah. So so I'm just like have that question in my just recently, like let's imagine for the top scenario, like for example, like the community, they vote for and they want for something that the founding member, like, you don't agree with, like, for because they're asking for something that, like, you don't believe it is work for your projects. And then so how you manage to to persuade them or to convince them that this is not good, or you just want to go away for what the community want, because, like, we believe, like, the community is everything for our projects.
Oh, I think so. It's pretty simple, as I mentioned. So, if it is about a project or something which they want on chain, it's okay. Like we usually take their side because they are the one who will be using the product. But if it is about the technology and stuff, like let's say they want us to upgrade the technology to fully privacy chain now. So we won't do that even if they specifically mention, because it's not about the community, but it's about the internal roadmap as well. Where say suppose if you want to change a whole stack, you need to change a whole thing, and you need to like create a lot of like OFTs for the token which have already been launched. So it depends like on how high scale they are expecting. But say suppose if they are expecting a new kind of product on chain which is already live on some other chain, so definitely we'll be taking this at that time.
I mean, you should not shoot yourself in the foot, right? If you put a proposition out there, you gotta stand by what the vote is. You cannot overcome it or go against it. So this maybe shows also the limits of the DAO sometimes. But if you put the vote out there, you gotta stand by it, even if it does not go your way or the direction you want to pick.
I say the DAO is the, if your organization goes with the DAO, you have to take two sides of the blade.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot give autonomy wherever you want, because DAO is at the end of the day the model that the organization is following. So the proposal is the answer. How you pitch it and how I mean, if anyone would read a proposal, they are serious with whatever the organization is building. They take it seriously, and we have to trust the judgment of people who, is believed to be in the DAO that originally were meant to be for the organizations. I have to say.
Yeah, so I have the same. I agree with everyone. Like, I believe usually in this scenario, like, I strongly believe in the expert, the technical expert, because they know the system, how the system work. But like for the community, like for example, like mostly they are the end user. They just use the product and they don't. Usually they maybe, I'm not sure. It's not right to say they don't actually understand the tech, but like sometimes like they just want to have something for them. It's not for the project itself. So yeah, so I agree with everyone. Like just believe in the expert, and then so we can pass that out. So because we don't have time, so just have another, like the last question, like what are you doing at the moment to improve your community to make it sustainability, to make it sustainable?
So as I mentioned, we are launching some products internally so that the users which you already have, they can just be engaging across the ecosystem.
Well, it's a good assist actually, because we just launched last week a page where we try to connect profile of developers, and they upload their skills, their portfolio, and the idea is that companies who are looking to hire freelance devs can through and contact them directly. So it's a way for us to gather the project, the startup looking for talents, and the devs we have in the community.
For us as Chainlink, we what we want to do is we try to lower the barrier to be engaged with the community as much as possible. Like before, we have a program called Advocate Program for general audience and Developer Expert Program for developers. And people who join this program, they have to go through a whole series of background check and everything. But now we try to lower that barrier. We try to create a brand new program we call Enthusiast Program. And whoever's interested in channeling and wanting to know more about the channeling technology and the platforms and everything, we welcome. And it's very easy. You just need to click apply and then get to know the team and be in the channeling community and be an enthusiast about channeling. So I think that's what we do, trying to create a more sustainable community with opening up to the bigger audience out there.
Thank you. So so this is the end of our panel. But like, if you want to learn about more the community of these projects from Manta, from Tatum, and from Chainlink, or also like from Consul, so just please head up to us, and then so we can discuss more after this panel. Thank you, everyone.
Kết thúc chương trình buổi sáng ngày hôm nay, xin mời quý vị nghỉ ngơi và kính mời các vị speaker VIP hãy tận hưởng đồ ăn nhẹ ở phía sau bên tay phải và chuẩn bị chương trình buổi chiều hôm nay thật đầy năng lượng và sáng tạo. Xin cảm ơn.
It's time for rest. Enjoy the restaurant network repair and get ready for an invigorating afternoon of insight. We have prepared lounge for the speaker and VIP guests. Please move back to the auditorium and the restaurant is on your right hand.